Hey everyone, Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler, with another What Sold on eBay This Week video. I hope everyone is having an amazing week. It is Friday, so welcome. We're going to get into all the items in just a second. If you're brand new to the channel, definitely go down there and click the subscribe button. And if you're watching this on the back end, definitely leave any kind of comment below. Say hello. That definitely will help out the channel. So I hope everyone is having an amazing week. This is 102. Special shout out to Adam Smith. We miss you, man. This is show's dedicated to you. Man, I don't want to go there. But anyways, definitely click the like button if you are missing a friend that has passed away or anything in the last year or in your life. This is a remembrance show for sure. 102, 102, 102. Once again, I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. I am an eBay hub manager for the American Cancer Society. All these items that you're going to see here have been donated, and 100% of the profits, or actually say 100% of everything, goes to cancer research. So definitely go down there and check the links below. So let's get right into it. Hope everyone's having an amazing week. These shows will basically show you different things that you can look for at garage sales, estate sales, and etc., thrift shops, and hopefully you guys will learn a thing or two. And if you do learn a thing or two, definitely click that like button, and let's get right into it. We got retro junk right out. That's a tongue twister so early in the morning. And congratulations to you and your family, soon to be family. That's pretty awesome. We're going to be doing some stuff in the future, so welcome, man. First up, we have this Star Frontier science fiction role-playing game from TSR. We've talked about this in the past. TSR is a brand that you should be looking out for, especially TSR stuff from the early 80s. You might know them best for the Dungeons and Dragons series. They did also Star Frontiers, which isn't as popular as Dungeons and Dragons, obviously, because you probably never heard of this before. But this is a Bolo brand name that you should be looking out for. TSR. That's what the logo looks like down there. The little yellow, red, or yeah, it's red. It's yellow. It's whatever color you want it. The yellow logo down there in the corner of the magazines. These are rule books, and there's also basically like. I forget what they're called. They're the books for the games that help you play. This thing had an assortment. What was crazy, this is probably from 1981. What was crazy is actually this thing had some stats already in it from someone that was playing before. So that's kind of like a bonus item. You know, that's basically how you would play the game. It's actually like it's almost like a role-playing game. It's like a board game on steroids as far as like using your imagination and stuff like that. But definitely look out for these kind of board games. These things have become like super popular over the last few years. Dungeons and Dragons has really taken off because of Stranger Things, and there's a lot of great stuff like that happens in the movie industry for collectibles and tie-ins, and you know, this kind of thing helps. You know, movies and popular TV shows definitely help certain things take off, and you know, Stranger Things definitely helped Dungeons and Dragons take off. So look out for Star Frontiers. Look out for Dungeons and Dragons. You might find these at estate sales and garage sales. These things are still popping up. People still have these. You know, they're over 30 years old. So definitely keep a lookout for those. We got Landshark Picker in the house. We got Super Sunshine Thrifter. Hello from very warm Orlando. Well, welcome. It's actually a very sunny day today. We're going to do another vlog today. We're going to go visit the Toluca Lake Discovery Shop. So hopefully you guys will tune into that video either tonight or tomorrow and follow the vlog. So Star Frontiers, definitely look out for that name, especially if you could find this stuff in brand new condition. It goes for a lot of money. This sold for $74.99 and it sold in about an hour from when we put it up. Next up, we have this multicolored Pendleton reversible wool blanket. If you're not familiar with the brand Pendleton, it's definitely a Bolo brand for sure. This thing's kind of old. As you can see here, there was some, I guess you would say, moth holes and some little tears and everything. This one appears to be a vintage one, and shout out to Paula for the amazing sale here on this one. And I don't think there was a label on this one. It must have been in the bottom corner, but there's no photos of that. Pendleton is, like I said, a Bolo brand for sure, especially if you can get some of the vintage stuff and it's in fairly good condition. We took a best offer for 80 something on this, and like I said, Pendleton's mostly known for like their kind of clothing, but they've done a lot of like blankets, and their patterns. They've sold their patterns to different companies to use their kind of patterns and like kind of like a tie-in. Corey the Mighty Mushroom, if anyone's heard of him, he's probably like the expert on Pendleton items. And as a matter of fact, I have a vintage sign that came in that I need to send to him, and I keep procrastinating on that. So Corey, if you're watching, I'll be sending that very soon because I keep looking at it, and it's like, I've totally told Corey I'd send it to him. It's a nice huge tin sign too. It's pretty cool. Next up, we have this Pratisi, black Italian leather briefcase. We took a best offer for $300 on this thing. This thing's a beautiful briefcase, as you can see here. Pretty much like in mint condition. It says new with tags, and apparently so. And once again, a huge shout out to Paula. This wasn't one of my listings. This is one of Paula's listings. So this is absolutely amazing thing. I mean, just look out for like these kind of like fancier looking leather briefcases. You might find these like at estate sales more than anything. You're not going to find this kind of stuff at thrift stores or garage sales, though like, you know, there's always an exception to the rule. But this is, I would consider, an estate sale item. And just do your research on these. Some of them, you know, go for a pretty crazy amount of money. Some of them don't. We actually sat on this one for about a month before it sold. So look out for that. And if you've ever found briefcases that are worth a lot of money, other than like just like these fancier leather ones, definitely leave a comment below for sure. We got Jericho. Hello from Jersey. We got Teresa Bookstaver. Good morning. How are you? Hope everyone's doing great. Definitely go down there and click the like button if you enjoy these videos. That helps out the algorithm and helps the channel and all that fun stuff. So yeah, definitely look out for these kind of briefcases. Just a word of warning. Sometimes the ones that are old, just look inside them to make sure they don't have gross stuff inside them. You know, like insects and moths and things that like can eat away at some of the insides of these things. So just make sure you take a good look at these things before you make a big purchase. Because like you know, someone might be selling this at a estate sale for $100, and you might think, wow, that's a lot of money, but this sold for $300. So it's one of those things where on this particular item, you'd have to do your research and know exactly what the wheelhouse is as far as this particular brand. And to be honest, I never heard of this brand before, and I'm not familiar with this brand, but I know about, you know, fancier upscale briefcases, you know, especially the accordion ones like this that kind of open up like an accordion. That's where the name comes from. Right here, as you can see, it's like an accordion. It's not like a flip top one that is known from the 80s and stuff like that. So definitely look out for those. Next up, we have, speaking of kind of like work kind of related stuff, we got a classic burgundy Franklin Covey leather work planner. For those that don't know, look out for the Bolo brand Franklin Covey. I know a lot of people have probably never heard of this brand, but it's a pretty upscale brand. You know, they do leather products and work kind of things and organizers, and that's what the logo looks like right there. It's kind of like almost like a crosshair thing, and it says Franklin Covey. These, if you can find this stuff in good condition and new, it goes for a pretty good amount of money. This is stuff that you can find at a garage sale or a thrift store all day long, and they don't really know what it is. You know, you can totally tell it's really good quality when you look at the stitching. And one of the kind of the pro tips I can give you guys who are new to the reselling game. If you want to know if something's authentic, like let's say you have a Gucci bag or Chanel or anything, always look at the stitching first. If the stitching seems kind of off, you know it's probably going to be fake. Authentic Gucci, authentic any high end is going to be like almost perfect. Their quality control is absolutely amazing. That's why this stuff goes for thousands of dollars when you buy it at retail. Franklin Covey, I'm not saying it's like super high end, but you can tell here if you just look at the stitching how amazing the stitching is and stuff like that. And so you can see how there's double stitching here. And like I said, that's a pro tip I can give you guys, is just always look at stitching if you ever want to know about you know, how authentic something is. Now, I'm not saying like, oh my god, this thing's amazing stitching, it's got to be like a real thing. That's just step one. It's the easiest step for me personally. Not everyone's going to have their own thing to look at. You know, you want to look at the kind of the inside of what the tags look like, the branding, and all that kind of stuff. For me, and the feel too. Like you can feel a fake purse or a fake bag any day of the week if touching it. But for me, step one, look at the stitching. Does the stitching look off? Yeah, it looks off. Okay, let me look at something else. If that other thing that I look at looks off, then it's probably fake. Stitching. Oh my God, the stitching looks good. Let me look at something else. Let me look at this. Let me touch it. Let me feel it. Let me smell it. Let me taste it. Just kidding. I'm not tasting anything. Next up, we have this Hermes Scarf. This thing actually looked like I was talking to Paula. This is another Paula listing. I always said like this thing looked like a shirt, like if it was a shirt, because I didn't even realize it was a scarf at first. Look out for scarves. Hermes is a Bolo brand, and I'm gonna see if we actually have a logo here on this thing. I guess this is probably as close as you're gonna get to a logo. Hermes, as you can see here, look at the stitching. It absolutely looks amazing. The embroidery is spot on. You know, fakes are gonna be probably screen printed or look completely terrible. As you can see here, this thing is amazing. There's a little hole there. This thing's still sold for $100. So Hermes is another one of those higher end brands to look out for. Everyone that's probably watching is gonna probably come across a tie first before anything else. You might come across a scarf. The only Hermes thing that I've ever found thrifting was a tie, and that was like 1 in a million. So this is another kind of a thrift shop, not thrift shop, estate sale type item, because most thrift stores are going to know what they have. This is going to be something this brand is going to be something you're probably going to find at an estate sale. We got Mary McQueen in the house. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Happy Friday to you. So Hermes, we've talked about Hermes before in the past. I'm going to keep saying it. Hermes. So if you don't know, you're going to know when you see it. Just remember, like, Hermes is a brand that's also knocked off. So just remember, like, if you ever have a question about, like, if something's authentic, you can always take photos and go to Facebook groups or Instagram and ask the community, you know, if something seems off or whatever. If it's too good to be true, it's usually not, or usually is. I don't know. Oh, man. Let's get into the next thing. Next up, we have this Sasha Brasov Surf Ballet Marbleized. Now, this actually pattern is called Surf Ballet, which if you look at it, it kind of looks like that. It's kind of swirly and everything. And look out for the Sasha Brasov plates in table settings. I don't have. I think I had a close-up photo of. I guess I didn't. That's my bad. This is a listing that I did. We actually had a set of these come in, and I've been breaking up sets to sell them individually, because you can make a lot more money selling individual play sets, or dinnerware, I should say. This is from the 50s or the 60s. Sasha Brasov has been around for a while. This is a very popular brand. This also comes in pink, and also comes in like a gold marbly, kind of black and white and gold marbly setting also. These are very popular. Usually, like, so let me break it down for those that aren't into dishes and stuff like that. I've been just starting to get into this stuff over the last 2 years. I told myself in 2019 I was going to study more on ceramics and glass, because that is my weakness as far as my knowledge base. I'm heavy in the collectibles and hard goods. Like, I'm heavy. Like, I know a lot about that stuff. But everything that I don't know about, I wanted to dive in and really become an expert on. Well, not an expert. No one's an expert in anything. Don't let anyone tell you they're expert in anything, because there's no such thing as an expert. Unless they, like, live, breathe, eat, sleep, like, one thing. And they're very few and far between. So I just want to become knowledgeable on this stuff. So my pro tips for you is that little saucers and tea glasses usually aren't worth as much money that come in these table settings. So those are like the lower end stuff. The little salad bowls, the little plates, those are also in the bottom of the barrel. The big money things are like butter dishes, gravy boats, larger sectioned off trays that are used for like hors d'oeuvres or platters, larger oval bowls. That's probably some of the most money is going to be in the large oval serving trays. Those are usually, you put the meat on the serving tray. It's usually maybe like 10 or 14 inches long, 16 inches long, and it's oval. Those are usually worth a lot of money. Like I said, the gravy boats, the odd things are usually the things that are worth the most money, because for some reason those are the things that come one off. It's a supply and demand thing. So a 6-inch salad bowl is gonna come like maybe 8 or 12 to the whole set, where a butter dish or a gravy tray is going to be 1. So, you know, it's just a supply and demand thing. Those things break. People want to collect the whole set. And another pro tip, since you guys are here, and I'm gonna drop um, some knowledge on you guys. If you haven't gone to replacements.com, write this down if you're watching this video. If you're live, replacements.com. I'm probably gonna butcher the name here. So replacements.com is going to have thousands of table settings of different things. So if you know the name, it can give you a start. It'll give you a basically general price on what people are paying for different glasses, bowls for specific table settings. Good morning, Marakich7. How you doing? Retro Junk saying I bought 4 Pyrex bowls for 50 cents each and sold them locally last night for 40 bucks. Yeah, Pyrex is definitely one of those things to look out for. Corning ware, Fiesta ware. Like I'm saying, like I've learned so much over the last year about just kind of I don't even know what you would call it. Like, is it called kitchenware? Dinnerware. I think it's called dinnerware. That's the kind of broad paintbrush. But replacements.com, definitely go and check that out. Bookmark that. Use it as a reference. So if you find a plate and you can tell like what the name is, you can look up that name and you can see how much the different pieces are going for. And so you know, it's another pro tip that you can buy these sets at estate sales, or sometimes even at thrift stores. I mean, this thing came out of a thrift store. It was a whole set. And so you can use replacements.com as kind of your kind of like your book to like go and do a reference. You know, you could look on eBay, and of course, you know, eBay is going to be the price of like what's really going for, but replacements.com will at least give you the name of whatever it is. Like, oh, if it's an oval bowl, it's a salad bowl. If it's a dinner bowl, there's lots of bowls. Like there's soup bowls. There's freaking veggie bowls even. So that's just a pro tip right there, and just kind of. If you're not into this stuff sells, like, and you can find it everywhere. You know, like, you know, just, you know, there's some very rare pieces of this kind of stuff. So I think I actually rambled off a little, a little more than I should. So if you've never heard of replacements.com, definitely click the thumbs up, because this is going to save you so much time and hassle as far as getting into dinnerware and looking up the different pieces. So definitely check that out. Next up, we have this postcard, Helen Hunt's Grave. Now, it's not the Helen Hunt you're thinking of. Most definitely not. It's not the actress. It was someone that had to do with Colorado Springs in the Cheyenne Mountains. And we're going to take a look right here. As you can see here, this is what the postcard looked like. Now, I was putting the rulers in there early on when I was doing these. And a huge shout out to Don, the auction professor. He was doing the same thing, and I just stopped doing that because it doesn't really matter. Postcards are pretty much all the same size, though there's smaller ones and bigger ones, don't get me wrong. But, you know, I don't think people really want to see the people that are collecting these don't even care about the size, to be honest. As you can see, this one has been posted. This one is a used one. Now, sometimes, you know, used postcards will actually decrease the value of a postcard, and sometimes it'll actually raise the value in certain circumstances, because there are collectors, stamp collectors mostly, that love posted postcards. You can see that there's a little date up here of 1915 right in the center there. You can also see that it came from a certain city. Now, unfortunately, I without a magnifying glass, I can't really look to see you know, what city this came from, but it tells a story basically of a piece of history, and that's what some you know, collectors really like. And if you're not into postcards, definitely start studying postcards. I really kind of hate myself for not getting into postcards sooner, because I've always passed these up over the years thinking they were just junk, because, you know, they're postcards. Like, who the hell wants those? They're like, you know, people want a quarter a piece for them at garage sales, or even less than that, like 5 cents, 10 cents. And I just passed them up over the years. But to realize that postcards are actually a very, very, very lucrative niche. Don, the auction professor, has talked about these before. And if you're not following him, definitely go and check his channel out. He's got a wealth of information. But like, let me just show you guys. We'll take a field trip real quick since I have a few minutes. We'll take a field trip. We'll go we go RPPC postcard. which is a real photo postcard. These things are actually like photographs if you take a magnifying loupe to them. Look at the sold listings on these things. I'm going to show you guys the highest prices because those are like more relevant to get you more excited. $1,000, $900, $910, $770, $695, $644. So look out for these kind of postcards. Now there's other postcards that actually do very well too. The real photo postcards are like pretty much like the cream of the crop. They are literally real photos, basically developed onto a postcard. So if you take your jeweler's loupe, you're not going to see the little dot matrix. And this one actually happens to be embossed too. That's pretty cool. And so just keep an eye out for this kind of stuff out there. You know, old photos even do very well. Like, look, I'll show you right now that you want to see like photos, like vintage photo. Vintage photos actually do very well too. As you can see here, look, 1800. Now these are usually, whoa. I didn't expect dong so early in the morning. Oh my goodness. So yeah, jeez. I'm gonna get a copyright strike or some kind of strike here going on. You know, as you can see, there's a lot of good money in photographs. You know, a lot of famous people. If you can actually find a photograph of a real person, oh man, what is up with this stuff? Why is it all nudes? Actually, that was probably not the greatest thing to to look at there, but as we can see here, there's a lot of great money in postcards. There's a lot of great money in old photographs. I've even seen 80s photographs go for a lot of money, especially you know, stuff around Christmas time. So if you can find 80s photographs or 70s photographs, hell, even 90s photographs of Christmas, of people with toys, like very popular toys, and I think Retro Junk 1987 will appreciate this tip. Old photographs with toys in them go for a good amount of money too. You could probably get $10, $20, $30, $40 of a kid with He-Man figures or vintage Star Wars figures from like a 1978 Christmas. Those things are still out there. You know, people, for some reasons, people sometimes donate huge boxes of photos. I don't know why they wouldn't. Maybe it's a estate sale. Someone dies, and that actually happens a lot. You know, there's someone that lives by themselves. They die. They don't have any family, and then the estate comes in and cleans it out. Retro Jug says, "I have old photographs of me with vintage toys." There you go, man. If you're ever hard up on money, you can totally sell those. Now, I wouldn't do that because honestly, that's like that's your own personal thing. But I'm just saying, you know, it's like one of those things to look out for. That think outside the box. You probably have never heard anyone say. I can almost guarantee you've never heard anyone say, "Look out for photos from the '80s with toys in them because they're worth money." For sure. Anyways, I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. If you enjoyed this video, definitely click the like button. I really appreciate everyone's support in the channel. Retro Junk, Mary McQueen, Paisley Bradley's even in the house. How you doing? Marrakesh, Teresa, Bookstaver, Jericho. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and I hope everyone has an amazing weekend. We're going to have a vlog that should be coming out either tonight or tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And if you're not subscribed, definitely go down and click the subscribe button. And I hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Take care.